Hey guys, welcome to the week in DSP for July 15th, 2019. The 15th is when DSP gets paid by Twitch, so the week is starting off with Phil already having a large income of money, especially since he also had a very big month last month when it comes to tips, so he should have some money hanging out. Plus, he's gotten a lot of tips already so far this month. What's great about this is tomorrow is his day off, Tuesday the 16th. I don't think it was intentional to make his day off line up with his Twitch money coming in because his day off is usually scheduled around what Kat is doing. But he did reveal when he came back on Wednesday that they went to eat out at an Indian restaurant, and he claimed that he only spent $30 at the restaurant. Keep in mind, this is someone who couldn't afford to buy a brand new video game when their job, the way that they make their income, is video games. And that he's also in the worst financial situation of his life, but just not such a bad enough position that he can't dial back the food budget to try to help make ends meet so he doesn't have to beg his audience for more money or more gift cards off of the Amazon wish list. Wednesday night was the weekly Blackout gameplay stream, and it also happened to be Tevin's birthday on Wednesday. And what's great about this is DSP was made aware of Tevin's birthday near the end of the stream. The last 30 minutes of the stream was just him ranting and raving on Tevin the whole time. It was especially telling because it got DSP to reveal that he barely knows anything about fair use and what is considered fair use on YouTube. I also love how he talked about there being other restreamers, but refused to name a single one. When even asked about me, he refused to acknowledge my existence, but then the next day banned me on Twitter, or blocked me on Twitter. He also blocked Dirk Dave as well. So just in case you needed more evidence of DSP talking out his ass, especially when it comes to fair use and the restreaming on the platform on YouTube, this was tweeted out by DSP Archives. It's Matt Hosenzada versus Ethan and Hilla Klein. Now, if you don't know who Ethan Klein is, that's the H3H3 guy, or according to Phil, that'd be the hee guy. Now, Matt had made a video and put it up on YouTube, and then Ethan created a 14-minute reaction video of the originally uploaded video. Now, the original uploaded video, I think, was 5 minutes, and they used 3 minutes in the reaction video. So a majority of the original publication was included in the reaction video. H3H3 Productions has 6.5 million subscribers on YouTube. So they are definitely way larger than DSP. Now, they didn't show the entire video in its original upload and then do a reaction over it. It looks like it was chopped up and put in. And I haven't even watched either video. I'm just going strictly off of whatever this court ruling in New York was. So it'd be interesting to see if a restream, which is commentary and criticism levied over the entire original stream of Darkside Phil's, whether that counts or not. But let me know what you think as I do my best to Nick Rekieta the holding or the decision that was made in this case. And I'm surprised I didn't hear about this before today because this is a big proponent or a case on the books that says this is a fair use lawsuit that was decided in this way. And yeah, I'm kind of clickbaiting it a little bit here. I'm not going to reveal whether H3H3 won or not. If you guys know about the case, then you already know about it. But for those of you who don't know, actually, you can probably guess if I'm saying Phil's talking out his ass, how this was probably decided. It looks like there's a 4-step analysis to determining fair use. The first factor is the purpose and character of the infringing work. The second factor is the nature of the copyrighted work. The third factor is the amount and how much of the original piece was used in the new video or new work or new creation, whatever you want to say. And then the final factor is the effect of its use on the market. Okay, you got those written down? All right, there's not going to be a quiz. I'll just review it again. So the first factor, purpose and character, was weighed heavily in the defendant's favor. Now, this was Matt bringing the lawsuit against H3H3. So H3H3 is the defendant in this case. And on the first point, it was in H3H3's favor because their video is quintessential criticism and comment. So that very easily already defines in at least 1/4 of fair use determination, criticism and comment is allowed. Now, the second factor is interesting because this was favored in Matt's case because it was an entirely original and scripted and fictional video. It was scripted, fictional character, written, completely made up and acted out by the characters in the video. Darkside Phil would have a harder time winning, in my mind, I'm not a lawyer, the second favor here because he's already creating a transformative piece already, I'm saying already a lot, by taking a video game, which is not his copyrighted work, and overlaying commentary over that. And at the same time, none of his stuff is scripted. It's all live reactionary commentary and gameplay, and he's not playing a character. But in this case of Matt versus H3H3, Matt wins on factor 2 because it was an entirely scripted and made up scenario that was filmed. Now, the third factor was the amount and proportionality of the video used. They said neutral because to comment and critique a work, clips of the original may be used, and the use of clips were necessary and reasonable to accomplish transformative purpose of critical commentary. At the same time, a great deal of the plaintiff's work was copied. So worst case scenario, neither DSP or a restreamer would win on fair use because the commentator or the person needing criticism would have to borrow from a lot of the work to critique it. It'd be very hard to critique an entire video if you didn't have access to the video for context. So far, in 3 of the 4 factors in fair use, we have 1 in favor of Matt, the plaintiff, 1 in favor of Ethan of H3H3 Productions, the defendant, and 1 neutral. So this 4th factor is going to be the determinant, who wins the case, right? It is the effect of the use upon the potential market, and this was weighed in favor of H3H3 Productions, because their video does not serve as a market substitute for plaintiff's video since it responds to and transforms the video from a skit into fodder for caustic, moment-by-moment commentary and mockery. Now, a market replacement would be like those channels that take other people's videos, completely translate it, maybe, into another language and just wholly re-upload it with the original voices removed and the new voices added in without credit to the original source or anything like that. It'd be like trying to find a DSP video, but it's as if I just wholly re-uploaded DSP's video and tried to use that as a way to take views away from DSP. I think I'm understanding that right. I am not replacing Darkside Phil in the Twitch stream market. However, the ruling here was changing one type of format, a skit, into another type of format, which is a play-by-play commentary. I'm basically taking another person's play-by-play commentary of their own gameplay into my own play-by-play commentary of their play-by-play commentary and gameplay. On the surface, it would make sense for it to still be fair use because I'm doing the same thing that my source material is doing to his source material. Fair useception, transformative-ception, whatever you want to call it. But long story short, I'm also pretty confident in what I am doing and what Tevin is doing is still fair use. Now, Friday was the release of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and Phil on one of his streams said that he only had about $30 of Switch Nintendo gift card credit already given to him through the Amazon wish list, and spent a little bit of the stream begging for the remaining $35 to cover the taxes on the purchase in order for him to get the game. So I guess this was a little bit more honest than the Dragon Quest Builders situation, which was he wasn't going to buy Dragon Quest Builders 2 unless he had 100% all the money in gift cards. But he waited. He kind of made it seem like, oh, then it's only going to cost me $30 to buy the full game, so it helps defray some of the costs. But what's great about this Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 situation is, number one, he's hyped this up by having Popsicolo create new emotes for him, which Popsicolo did 100% for free. And that he talked about how much he loved the first two games, and that there was going to be cooperative gameplay, which doesn't really happen a whole lot on Phil streams. So this is brand new element to it. It's really special. So we've got emotes lined up for the event. We've got co-op play lined up for the event. Oh, it's going to be great. So he's already had it on the schedule. He's had this all hyped up, and he's still begging money for it. So he didn't purchase it until the last minute. And he didn't do it until he got 100% of the cost covered by Amazon wishlist, gift card, Nintendo credits. So that's 2 games he's gotten for free off of the Amazon wishlist so far, even just this month. Now, let me tell you how bad the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was, because I restreamed this, and it was the only time I can think of after restreaming it that I regretted restreaming Phil that day, because the Switch does not have voice communications. And Phil, in all of his ultimate wisdom, thought this was great because then he's not distracted by the conversations on the headset and he can still interact with his chat. He spent about 5 hours of gameplay. It's not quite 5 hours. And he only interacted until the very end of the stream, where someone complained about him not interacting, and he basically just went with like, well, you guys are talking about anime or something, so I can't respond to this. This is the only time he interacted with chat the whole time. He also had to play through the tutorial first in order to unlock cooperative gameplay. So whoever was queued up to play co-op with him had to wait while he played through the game already to try to figure out what he's supposed to do. Now, the lack of voice chat could have been alleviated in multiple ways. Number one, the Switch has an app, or Nintendo has an app, to coordinate voice communications with people you're playing games with anyways. I think it's a piece of junk, in my opinion, but it still exists as an avenue of voice chat. The second thing you can do is Discord, which is my preferred option. Discord is way easy to coordinate with people. You can either get in a private call with people, so you even have to be in the same server, as long as you're friends with them, or you can just be in a server that has voice chat. The other thing you can do, and this is technology that Phil has used in the past, is use Skype. But he didn't even want to set up a Skype call chat room with the people that were going to play with him. The only piece of technology that he said that was even viable was a cell phone conversation. And he was like, I have no way for the microphone to pick up my cell phone conversation if I were to put it on speaker. Plus, I don't think he would risk his phone number getting out by leaking it to people who could be detractors. Because as far as I know, I don't think they paid to play co-op with him. I think they just had to email and volunteer for it. But it's maybe the fact that there was no vetting process to see if he could get real fans of his or moderators or whatever to play cooperatively with him that made him just skip voice chat altogether, because a detractor might have been able to sneak in and troll him. So Phil spends about 4 hours playing the game and talking about how great it is, but it's the Switch that was holding it back. So the issues that was there with the game was because of the hardware that the game was released on, and they should have done a multi-platform release instead of a Switch exclusive. Also, for someone who's been streaming for 5 years, maybe even longer, he did a real poor job of integrating the new emotes. Why didn't he, when Wolverine come on screen, have everyone spam the DSP Wolverine emote in the chat? And I can answer my own question. It's obvious, because number one, he hates memes, and the Wolverine is a meme off of the story of Phil being a petulant, spoiled brat and not getting a Wolverine toy when he was 14 years old that he could have turned around and sold for a lot of money on the first print run. He didn't want the toy because he wanted the toy for it being an action figure. He wanted it so that way he could collect it and resell it later. But he's just also terrible with interacting in his chat altogether. Now, the absolute kicker. This game was hyped up with new emotes. It was a brand new AAA release of a Marvel title as well. So you get the Marvel fanboys, the Nintendo fanboys, the DSP fanboys. Phil was thinking he was going to hit his sub goal off of the back of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. You know how long that game lasted for his streams? 2 day streams. He streamed it for 4 hours on Friday, almost 5 hours. And then again, he did it a day stream on Saturday, the day after, and finished the game. And his sub count barely changed. No one showed up and no one cared about this game. Or if they cared about the game, they didn't care enough to stick around to become a fan of DSPs. Maybe they followed, but subscribe? No, nothing happened. Contributions were average, I would say. But at the conclusion of the game, DSP blamed the game for not being more of a moneymaker than he initially thought. But he got it for free, so whatever tips and cheers he got from it, I guess is just free money because he didn't have to buy the game. So the game didn't have to pay for itself, plus daily expenses on Friday and Saturday. Now, Sunday night was the Minecraft stream. He did Dragon Quest Builders 2 during the day stream, so I guess big ups to playing these block building games for a whole day. Now, Phil got really salty during Minecraft because it looked like that a $5 tip for the longest time was going to be the winner. And he even talked about the person getting their reward as a steal. I think it was M5NSX, a frequent contributor to the DSP stream. Now, for those of you who've been out of the DSP sphere for a while, and since I haven't done a week in DSP in a while, I haven't been able to talk about this before. DSP has started this interactive thing in Minecraft where whoever contributes the most money at the end of the night gets something named after them. And if he hasn't run out of time, he'll name it that stream, or he'll try to do it at the start of the next stream. Now, the main issue with this is that it conflates bits with real-life dollars, which is against Twitch's terms of service for the uses of bits. Bits are not money per se. Phil cannot sell you things with bits, but he's basically auctioning off the rights to name something in his Minecraft world to whoever gives him the most bits or dollars.
So here's what I'll say. Here's what we'll do. We have a top tip. That person actually beat, if you can believe it, they beat Philip's Smelly Chair. So, person who just tipped me $13.01, all right, you have to email me. Again, you have to email me with the same email that you tipped me with, and you have to pick something that's viable. You have to pick something in the world that I am that's viable, all right? Building name, that would be, wait a minute! Philip's Smelly Chair just did a 2,000-bit cheer. Oh, M5NSX also tipped me $15. Thank you, M5NSX. That's the top tip of the night. But Philip's Smelly Chair actually trumped you with the 2,000-bit cheer, if you can believe it. So, M5NSX, you are the top tipper of the night with that $15 tip. However, Philip's Smelly Chair is still the top contributor with 2,000 bits. Yeah. He got all of us. I wasn't expecting that. Philip's Smelly Chair is still the leader for tonight with 2,000 bits. So that means Philip's Smelly Chair is still going to get to pick what he wants. Now, do you still want me to name the place? And what was it you wanted to call?
A big meme in his chat is to ask, how much does a bit equal? And Phil will not address this at all. He will not say a bit equals a penny. So 100 bits equals $1. So when someone tips 1,300 bits, that's the equivalent of $13. In previous streams, in order to avoid saying what a bit equals to $1, he's outright just said, don't worry, I know who's the top contributor for the stream so far. So going back to the meme I was saying earlier, because Phil refuses to say how much a bit equals to $1, you can ask in chat and it will cause an uproar to go, wait, how do I know how much to tip in order to be the top cheer? And Phil will not answer it, and his mods will do full damage control to avoid a toss violation. And if you guys could see the chat is available on my restream on my channel. That Anonymouse was running interference super hardcore to try to prevent a Twitch terms of service violation with his auctioning. The other thing that's been really funny about this auctioning thing in Minecraft is he's been adding rules onto it as he goes. A few weeks back when Goldfish, I think it was Goldfish. What is his name? Anyways, he gave like $100 and had the pier named after him, where Phil fishes in his village. But during that same stream, someone else had donated $20 or $25, but their name was in Dutch, and it was a Dutch insult towards Kat and Phil. Well, then Phil decided, you know what? It's got to be in English, or you just lose. It's just thank you for the money. Another night, Creepy Spaghetti had won, and he requested to have a corpse of a ghast named after him. So Phil would have to go into the Nether in order to hunt a ghast, in order to put a sign down that says Creepy Spaghetti's ghast corpse or whatever it was. Now, this was a great troll op. I mean, besides the fact that the guy ended up giving Phil money, but it did force Phil to go into the Nether, hunt a ghast, and then have its body land in a spot where Phil could go and safely drop a sign. And the biggest bit of gold dust, I guess you could say, was one of the ghasts had missed DSP, but its fireball landed perfectly in front of the hut, the cobblestone hut that the Nether portal was encased by. So the blast of the shockwave went through the door and blew out the Nether portal. What this means, for those of you who don't play Minecraft, is Phil was trapped in Minecraft's version of hell, where he had to hunt these ghasts, and he had no way to go back to his safe overworld. He almost quit the Minecraft playthrough then and there, and he was going to quit a week later if he couldn't recover his materials in time, but he was able to do so. But because of this event, he made it a rule. He is never going to go into the Nether for the rest of the playthrough, and he is not going to go into the Nether to name anything in the Nether. Now, the reason why I bring up these new rules that get added arbitrarily during the gameplay is a troll, I'll say in air quotes, named Philip Smelly Chair, who's so far, at the time of me recording this video, has given $82 in bits this week to troll DSP. And, yeah, trolling him. You can give me $80 and troll me all you want. Seriously. It's not... Phil wins in the end, dude. But the great thing is that this guy gave, like, 1,000 bits, which is $10, near the end of the stream, and wanted Phil to name something after him. Phil warned the guy outright that if he asked for a troll name, like if he wanted a dog, I don't think there's a dog in Minecraft, but let's run a hypothetical that if he wanted a dog named Rocky, or one of the villagers to be named Lightside Bill or Tevin or something like that, he was going to ban the guy for trolling him. And I just want to imagine a scenario where... And this has happened before, and nothing has happened to Phil, where Phil has banned people for refusing to give him money. He banned your mate Crate, which is one of my moderators, who promised, quote unquote, Phil $100 if he won a game of Blackout. Well, Phil actually ended up winning the game of Blackout, and the guy said, oh, well, I didn't see it happen, so I'm not going to give you the money. Or something like that. Maybe it's for placing top 5, but that's the gist of the story. And Phil said, no, you made a promise, you have to give me that money. And the guy refused, and then Phil banned him. So now we're on the flip side, where someone wants to give Phil money for some reason, maybe to troll him because he gets uncomfortable and angry at this guy. But at the same time, too, Phil is going to ban you because you're giving money to him. So... How bad of a financial situation are you in where you're going to ban people for giving you money because they said the wrong thing? They went against dear leader's wishes. Now, if you thought that shit salad couldn't get any worse, that Phil adds all these rules in the middle of the game of the bidding war, including threatening to ban you if you're winning the bid war. He also actively tried to throw Philip Smelly Chair under the bus so flippin' hard because he really did not want to give an obvious troll the win. So he's like, oh, well, I think it was around 11:10 my time, so that'd be 9:10 Phil's time, that he was like, well, I guess no one's going to beat Philip Smelly Chair. What do you want named? So that to me indicates that there's a cutoff. This person's already won the bid, And now you're asking them for their final answer on what they get to name. When you get to the point in your bid war of selling the rights to name something and you're asking someone what do they want to name the thing, they should win. But then this guy got, what, a $13 or $15 tip to beat the 10,000 bits. And then Phil just goes, whoa, wait a minute, hang on. You need to email me right away so we can have something named after what you want. Okay, so there's no cutoff. And the M5 NSX guy, I guess, just didn't get back to Phil in time because Philip Smelly Chair reloaded and fired back with 1,300 bits, $13. So, oh, you know what? M5 NSX gave $11 to beat 10,000 bits. So Philip Smelly Chair fires back with 1,300 bits, which is $13. And then Phil face palms. He's just so upset that this guy's going to win. So now he makes the cutoff to be whenever he finishes typing or whatever. Then $15 comes in, and Philip Smelly Chair counters back with 2,000 bits. But by this point, Philip's done like 20 minutes of overtime, so that way Philip Smelly Chair can't win. And he goes and he places the sign on the building, and he says, well, if no one beats him by the time I finish typing, then I guess he wins. And he does this whole thing where he can't find the apostrophe. He can't figure out how to spell condo because that's what the guy wanted to name it. I mean, he's like really, really painfully, obviously milking it. I guess as a final point as well, I really want to say that you guys can do whatever you want with your money, but I think giving money to Troll Phil is probably one of the dumbest things to do because it's absolutely hilarious to see him squirm when money's not coming in. To see him complain about streams being slow, contributions being slow, people not liking the game. Oh, real quick pre-stream today, guys, because I only have one shout out to give. That kind of stuff is absolutely hilarious. 90% of the time when he reads your troll message, he's not going to read it out loud to you. He's going to say, oh, I got 100 bits from a troll and move on. Yeah, he read it, but he didn't read it out loud. And he's probably going to move on with his life. And your 100 bits just help keeps him here. He's already milking his freaking disabled incel underage audience for hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Or $100,000 a year. You don't need to contribute to it. Now, I know, according to Actually on Kiwi Farms, that the number of troll donations or tips or whatever is somewhere between the 10 to 20% range. So it's not the majority of the money is coming in from the trolls. It's just really dumb. You can get him to read your message if you just at him while he's leaning into the chat. And as long as you say a message that isn't an outright troll meme, he's likely to read it. I mean, I got him to read a fucking pretend Mio sponsorship during Blackout twice. And someone baited him about Welch's cherry juice preventing foot crystallization during Minecraft. So you can get him to say ridiculous things for free if you're just a little bit clever about it. But like I said, you're free to do with your money as you please. If you think it's worth spending 50 bits to get Phil to ban you from his Twitch chat, be my guest. All right, guys, that does it for the weekend DSP because Minecraft was Sunday night and nothing happened between Sunday to Monday while I'm recording this. Phil's channel still exists despite him conflating bits with real-life money. We'll see how long that lasts. I tried to keep this to a few short major events. And there's probably not going to be a whole lot of clips into this one, but I figure something's better than nothing, right? Going forward, I'm probably going to do this every once in a while. I also have some other video ideas in mind. Unfortunately, between restreaming, real-life obligations, and work, it's really hard for me to just stick to the videos that I really want to do in, the cult video, things like that. So thanks for sticking out with me so far, guys. I hope to see you in the next stream or video.